I guess it's just gonna be a short reaction video, guys.
Videos, body pillows, which yes, I am going to talk about because I refuse to be silenced on this platform.
I don't know if you want to say that in front of, you know what I'm saying, but hey, I know about it too. What the internet did to Undertale, brother? What by Super Eyepatch Wolf? Nah, this is a video I didn't think I'd ever react to, not gonna lie. It's just not my type. But, you know, I thought today I'll give it a shot, give it a chance. Why now? It's a recommendation. Cause view. So, we're just gonna try it out, you know what I'm saying? Leave a like, I'm sure it's a great video. Don't know if it's reaction type, right? But, let's see. Let's see what info can get us
Undertale is a tiny
in the first 5 minutes.
Game released on the 15th of September 2015 and started life as a $5,000 Kickstarter. And it's here you can see its creator Toby Fox's bewilderment as the budget soars to 10 times his initial ask, as well as little updates like Fox having to take time away from development to sit his college exams. And what I find interesting about these...
What I find interesting is the dates. Can we look at the dates again? It was 1 year. It was like 2014. Estimated delivery is 2014 as well, so he had a release date back then. Okay.
And it's here you can see its creator Toby Fox's bewilderment as the budget soars to 10 times his initial ask, as well as little updates like Fox having to take time away from development to sit his college exams. And what I find interesting about these posts is you can see in them a person who had no idea what he was making or what it would become. And how could he? 5 years later, Undertale...
If you have no idea what he's making, well, he made a masterpiece with a lot of backstory and background, so... I think he knew what he was making. I think he just...
I've done 2 videos like this, and exploring those fandoms, it felt like digging through a mine. But Undertale was more like staring into a massive, yawning abyss, infinite and ever expanding. And what I want to do today is look at how that happened, how the internet took this tiny little game and transformed it into one of the most loved and hated phenomenon online. And to do this, we need to start with Undertale itself. I'm guessing a lot of you know the Undertale.
Let's play this.
Frisk, a small child who has fallen into an underground kingdom of monsters, and from here you can treat them like you would in any other RPG and murder them, or become their friend. It's a cute idea, but in isolation, it wasn't that new or interesting in 2015. Games like Moon having very similar concepts, but releasing 18 years earlier, with non-lethal runs in games being popular by this time. So why then is the simple choice of Undertale's battles a big deal? And I think there's 2 answers to that. The first being its characters.
Yeah,
Undertale
that's the thing, bro. Undertale is carried by its characters. Without the characters, I don't think there'd be much of a game, bro. I wouldn't play the game. I don't like the Undertale gameplay. I don't know if y'all know this, but I don't like the Undertale gameplay. I literally played it for the story and the characters. That's literally it. Same reason I played Deltarune. I don't like the gameplay.
And how much you agree with that is going to define how you feel about this game. Take a character like Undyne. Initially, she just seems like a human murdering machine, but spend time with her and you'll see that her more homicidal tendencies are just an expression of her loyalty to Asgore. That's how much her friendships mean to her. Whether it's knowing Papyrus isn't suited to combat and teaching him to cook instead, or appreciating Alphys's pathetic love of anime. She's someone who's able to see people for what they are rather than what they wish they were, and is able to love them for those reasons. And learning all this about a character who first seemed like a standard RPG boss is really endearing. But that same discovery exists for each major character of Undertale, whether it's Alfie's self-deprecating humor hiding an intense layer of guilt and self-loathing, Flowey's hateful, pathetic existence, or Mettaton's journey to transition into a body they can be themselves.
Into a gosh dang
Despite the fact that a single playthrough of Undertale takes about 6
That's what he transformed into.
A lot of these characters, and I think
Metton is a solid character, right?
Subtly, their personalities are communicated. Each character has a home that you can explore, full of all these little touches, like Papyrus's race car bed. As a side note, I really like the mirror in Toriel's home that just says, "It's you." What a cute little joke, and certainly not a prelude to any massive emotional. As well as each character having their own highly expressive theme music. Like, take Asgore, the king of the monsters waiting for you at the end of the game.
Yeah, music is amazing as well. Gosh dang, how many animations have listened to Megalomania? Or like a remix of it? Or it's Megalomaniac? I don't even know. One of those two.
Needs to break the barrier trapping his people underground. And his theme music...
That's the part that hits, bro. When Toriel tells you, this man's gonna kill you if you leave.
It is the sound of a good person trying to convince himself to do something awful for what he believes is the greater good. And that same level of expression can be found everywhere in the underground, even in a lot of the really tiny little side characters. From Burger Pants, the nihilistic
Burger Pants, boy.
fast food worker, to Muck
That's
the
one of
Spider,
them.
who's about as adorable as you could make one of those abominable hell creatures, to
Yo, don't show me a spider, bro. You gonna scare the crap out of me, bro. Stop. This guy sounds cool, by the way. Like he's doing this video.
Oh my god, I don't know that I've ever related to a fictional character this much. And it all comes together to...
For my channel, you haven't seen this link down in the description. Watch it now. And come back. Leave a like.
Humans, yet have still managed to scrape together happiness in that. But there's this undercurrent of longing for something more.
The Grobies
a desire
vibe,
to
too.
escape the underground for a better life under an open sky. And it's sad, but it's that contrast that gives the world of Undertale its beauty.
Yep.
The reason I make a big deal about this is if you don't care about these characters, if you don't believe in this world, then the choices offered by Undertale's battle system, they don't mean anything. But if you do, that's where the option to kill or spare these monsters starts to carry real
I can't believe I killed
emotional
Toriel in our
weight.
first playthrough,
But
bro.
it would still all
on
be for
YouTube.
nothing if the game
I can't believe I did that, bro. I didn't know you could mercy people, bro.
Way.
I know that was an actual
Undertale
thing.
is extremely
Even though it's
reactive to
there.
the player's actions, even in some really
I know how to
tiny
do it.
idiosyncratic ways. Like Sans being able to tell that you've reloaded your save file and are experiencing the same...
I'm sorry. I gotta be childish for a second. Hold on.
Even in some really tiny idiosyncratic ways.
Was anyone else trying to romance that deer? I don't know why. It's just my hope in the games, bro. I just watch too much romance animes, I guess.
Like Sans being able to tell that you've reloaded your save file and are experiencing the same...
Even though, what the heck are you gonna get with that? I don't know. That's the thing, though. I've seen too much. I've played too much.
Reacts to your actions
The
to
snow
shape
piece.
the larger story. If you go through the entire game without killing a single monster, you'll go down the pacifist route, which
Yes,
means
sir.
0 level ups or stat increases, and it's difficult, but it's the only way to experience the full story of Asriel.
Oh, it's difficult, so we
Asgore
beat a
and
difficult
Toriel's son,
killed
killed by
route,
humans
huh?
and now transformed into the evil, emotionless flower that tried to take your soul at the beginning of the game. The final battle with
What do you
him
guys think is
seeing
more
you
difficult?
and all the monsters you've spared
Pacifist or
facing
genocide?
Asriel and making him see
And don't say
through
genocide just 'cause it takes
pacifism
forever.
that
Just
he
'cause it takes forever
still
doesn't mean it's
matters. He
difficult,
is
right? It's
still
just time
loved
tasking.
despite the
What do you think
terrible
is
things
actually
he's
more
done
difficult?
and all
Pacifist
the hatred
missions?
he feels
Or, you know,
until
trying to survive?
finally Asriel
Or genocide?
loses the will to fight and in one final act of repentance shatters the barrier sealing the monsters underground, freeing them to pursue a new life on the surface.
This man really just went through the whole Undertale
Just a
story.
feeling that you did this. You showed these creatures a real kindness. Not through any binary decision, but by consistently doing what you believed was right over what was easy. And the result is a ending that feels meaningful and responsive to your actions.
Binary the
A
correct
genuine
award
statement
for
of
that?
the power of love over violence, and fuck, I think that's kind of beautiful. But it's also here that things get really interesting. Go back to the title screen
Gaster.
and you'll be met by Flowey, who warns you that there is one final threat to this world. You. You have given these characters the best possible life, and now you have the option to just walk away and let them be happy.
Hey,
Or
which is lit,
you
what?
could reset the game and start again.
I did reset my
Looking
game,
down
but guys,
from
it
the
really
right
just
to
is
the
a game
future.
after all,
And
you know
what's
what I'm saying?
interesting is he's not talking to Frisk,
But yeah,
character.
y'all saw me attempt the
He's
genocide
talking
route.
to you, the player.
Then I realized how long it would take, and I was like,
why do
psych,
you
guys,
do
never mind, canceling that.
this? Simple. Why do you do anything in any video game to see what happens. And specifically, what happens if you kill every single monster in the Undertale.
Genocide.
This is what takes you down the no mercy route, or genocide as it's come to be known online.
I'm gonna call it no mercy from here, because otherwise YouTube might think that this is a very different kind of video than it is.
No mercy
smart.
rules are grueling. You have to walk back and forth through each area, killing every single monster, and it can take hours. But it's like the entire time
I just try to connect the words.
Asking you, is this really what you want? And as you do, the underground transforms into this haunting, empty place as the monsters flee from you, abandoning their homes and even leaving notes begging you not to hurt their family. It feels cruel,
yeah.
like you are some terrible...
I've watched a lot of Undertale videos on the side, guys, I haven't reacted to, so I know a bit about what happens during genocide.
Violent force in this world, the major encounters of the game changing to reflect that, and none more so than your battle with Undyne, who before the battle is mortally wounded trying to save a child from you, and just listen to the...
Can't you choose to kill the child or leave them?
Deep in my soul, there's a burning feeling I can't describe, a burning feeling that won't let me die. This isn't about monsters anymore, is it? If you get past me, you'll destroy them all, won't you? Monsters, humans, everyone. Everyone's hopes, everyone's dreams. Vanquished.
Just background music's busting.
Right
it's
now,
coming through.
Everyone in the world, I can feel their hearts beating as one. And we all have one goal. To defeat you, human, no, whatever you are. For the sake of the whole world, I, Undyne, will strike you down. I love how this speech plants you as a villain about to battle the true hero of this story. But what's really interesting is that line, human, no, whatever you are. Because you're not human, not in this world. Humans cannot control time. Humans cannot come back from the dead over and over and over.
Exactly.
You are not human.
You are a player
being that exists outside
my boy,
this
my girl.
fictional reality. You are a person playing a video game.
A player.
And that gives you massive power over this world and every character in it. Illustrated.
This got me wanting to replay Undertale and give another pacifist ending because I feel like I messed them up by pushing to reset so you can do genocide.
But for as grueling as this fight is, it's
bad.
not a fair one. Because each time you die, you can just reset, respawning at the last save point. And with each new attempt, your muscle memory strengthens as you learn the patterns of her attacks, rendering them useless. You are growing. She is not. She can defeat you an infinite number of times and it doesn't matter. You just need to kill her once and it's over. You are not two
Imagine a dynamic
in
hard
fair
mode
contest. You are an actual person in the real
where if you
world,
die, Frisk actually dies. You have to wait for
advantage
another
you
human.
have
Well, I guess
to
another human
defeat
can't
a
drop on because
fictional
they'll get out.
video game character.
But someone makes up the
This
dynamic
fight
like that, bro,
shows
where like
the
you
inherent
die
unfairness
and you get to see what happens
and
after
this
Frisk
isn't
is
the
dead.
only moment
And you take another character,
this.
and then
Remember
another
the moment
character,
where
and then another
Sans
character.
knows you've
But
reset your save
I guess
file?
once Frisk
This
dies, they're
happens
getting out,
because
right?
each
So
time you reload a save, that is canonical. It is the player manipulating the timeline of this world.
their reaction to actually
Something that becomes even more apparent when later in a No Mercy run, Flowey tells you that he used to have the same power that you do. He used to have the ability to reset the timeline of this world. How he used it to do everything. He saved everyone, he killed everyone over and over until the people of this world to him became nothing but sets of numbers and lines of dialogue, like characters in a video game. And that power is what made Flowey so pathetic and cruel. But at this point, you're the same as he is. You've destroyed the lives of creatures much weaker than you are.
And then you fight him at the end, bro.
What happens? And that
Legendary game, bro.
is chilling.
You cannot, the
This
intro
is
to
the
this,
strength
no,
of
you cannot
Undertale.
say
It
Toad didn't know
presents
what he
you
was
with
doing.
a
This man knew
choice
what he
through
was
its
doing.
battles, gives that choice
I'm sure he
meaning
just
through
know
its
what you're
world
right,
and
you wouldn't say
characters,
that.
and consequence in how the game reacts to your decisions. And it uses that to reach out beyond the screen and form a real connection with you, the person holding the controller.
This is the product of a game that someone really put a lot of time and thought into.
Lives of beings in an inherently weaker position than you.
They took every character and gave them a whole, like, their own story. Like, it was, like, the game was meant just for them.
I think people react to this game the way they do. And oh boy, do people react.
Like me. Oh, we got an ad. I'm gonna take this time to change the battery because I think the camera's about to die. Oh, snap, Omori. An ad for Omori? I need to figure out where to finish this game. I want to play it. No one watches though. Sad. Some people do. This ad is showing spoilers. My god, I don't want to see any of that.
The reason I spend so much time talking about the appeal of Undertale is that whether you love it or don't, it's important to understand that this is a game that elicits a lot of emotion in people. But this created a problem. Undertale was still a small indie game. You could see the majority of its meaningful content in less than 20 hours, and from there, all that emotion had nowhere left to go. Take a character like Azrael. Go back to the beginning of the game after a pacifist run, and there he is tending to the flowers. He will not go with you, and you cannot save him. He's resigned to stay alone in the ruins forever, slowly reverting back to the soulless version of himself. And that's it. That's the end of this character. And this is where Dreamer Reborn comes in, a fan comic that reimagines this scenario, where now Frisk shares their soul with Azrael, allowing him to join his family on the surface and start a new life. And if you want to know how hungry people were for this kind of content, Dreamer Reborn was uploaded just 8 days after Undertale's release.
That's something I was planning, and I
Dreamer
didn't
Reborn went on
know
to be
Azrael
massively
actually stayed
popular,
down there.
even resulting in its own fan game, and was a critical moment for what Undertale would become online, because it told fans,
whoa, that's what one
if
is that?
you wanted more Undertale,
Did I miss it?
you could create it yourself.
Yep.
This opened the door to a whole world of new fan content. Say you were switching to a character like Alphys, who maybe has 20 to 30 minutes dialogue across the entire game total. Well, through fan content, she became infinite. Now you can watch her take cooking lessons with Undyne. You could explore the horror of her failed experiments. You could watch her get married, try on outfits, play video games. Hell, you could even argue with her about anime in one of the many Undertale Ask blogs. People even creating elaborate animations like this short showing Alphys sinking into despair over
some of these are copyrighted. Trust me, I know.
And how her first meeting with Undyne began to change that. It's beautiful, but the thing is, this kind of fan content was now being made for every major character of the game, a sign of just how quickly Undertale was spreading online. Through nothing more than
NCH, I think is what it was.
A massively popular topic for video essays
I watched some of this game
that would
theory stuff
scrape at every tiny corner of the game, desperate to uncover new information for an increasingly ravenous fan base. The game even reached some of the most popular creators on the internet who would stream and let's play this niche indie RPG to audiences of millions, leading to massive influxes of new fans. And if you want to see the most explosive expression of that new popularity, you can find it in Undertale.
And I think I just went and watched one of his other gameplay videos.
The showdowns in Undertale felt, visually they were nearly always very simple.
How I dodged Undertale, there's the short story. And now here we are, reacting to 100 plus videos of it.
Did was free the most dramatic moments of Undertale's story from those limitations, letting us experience the sheer lunacy of the ratings-driven war with Metaton, the violent, desperate cruelty of a no mercy route Undyne, or the sheer tragic
when can I get some talk about my boy Gaster, bruh?
Azrael, like the fucking stunning Telly LZ's hopes and dreams, capturing all the emotion, tragedy, and
Where's the comic dubs too? They'll get some love, you feel me? I know they ain't as flashy, but that's why they good. They got some good ones.
behind these creations. A desire to recreate how these fights felt. And I'm guessing that's why the most popular by far is the battle with Sans.
Yep.
Coming right at the end of a No Mercy run, this is where the
man
game
exposed, like,
finally
you been watching you,
pushes
bruh,
back
everything you did.
against the player. Sans, having watched you repeatedly destroy the lives of everyone he loves, now faces you in one final terrible fight. And it is a nightmare. Sans even taking control of the timeline and forcing the player to be the victim of saves and resets. And what these animations do is capture all that violence, all that emotion, and express it in a way that was never possible in the original game. The crazy part isn't even how many of these animations there are, or their sheer quality, but they're insane.
Minecraft? What?
Take a look at this.
What? Tell me right there, let me know.
And I want you to try and guess how many views you think this has. Okay, hold that number. Did you guess as high as 4 million views?
Might be
Well,
like 11K
if you
now.
did, you drastically underestimated because it's actually 60 million
Never mind.
views. And this is not
Golly, alright, too many.
Undertale fan animations.
I don't remember the numbers.
66 million views, 95 million views. I would wager that with view counts this
I don't
high,
remember
these animations were likely how a lot of people actually discovered Undertale.
Wow.
Meaning, at a point, the Undertale fandom became self-perpetuating. Fanworks creating new fans who would in turn create new fanworks. And you could see this new level of popularity being expressed in some really insane ways. An entire music scene built up around Undertale fan remixes.
What if I was freaking coming on the come up when this stuff was happening? Ooh, Undertale Red, I'm actually gonna maybe try that out.
To Undertale entrance music. I swear to God, this is a big deal. And within the fandom itself, every tiny corner of the game was now being mined for fan content. You remember those side characters we mentioned earlier? Each of them now had their own massive fan following. Each time Undertale was being filtered through 1,000 different lenses, resulting in legions of fan art, fan comics, fan fiction, plushes, stage productions.
I guess it's just gonna be a chill reaction video, guys.
Videos, body pillows, which yes, I am going to talk about because I refuse to be silenced on this platform.
I don't know if you want to say that in front of, you know what I'm saying, but hey, I know about it too. Guys, of course I know it exists.
Resulting in a profound sexual awakening, the likes of which I never thought I'd experience. My point here is that from the little carrier burden waterfall to the bench niche, each tiny strand of Undertale was being magnified 1,000-fold and given new life online. And if you want to see how minute this gets, look no further than W.D. Gaster. If a fictional character could win an award for appearing in a piece of media the least, but inspiring the most fan content, Gaster would win that award. His existence is only suggested in a handful of easily missable moments throughout the game. The Royal Scientist before Alphys, your odds of actually encountering him are tiny.
Gaster was
dependent on a randomly assigned number
found
at the
by
the game from
the replayers.
And if that
so much
number
love to
happens
them.
to be 60,
the ones that replay the game look at little details and build upon those investigators.
Which may contain a character sprite commonly believed to be Gaster. Meaning he only appears in roughly 1 out of
those people that talk too much about the game. You're like, wow, they're such a nerd. The nerds are the thing for this.
Popular character in the fandom.
Start respecting them, gosh dang it.
Innumerable fan comics, fan fiction, a fully playable boss battle, as well as fan animations. The most popular of which has 45 million views. He's barely in the fucking game. And if it's starting to make sense,
doesn't matter. That's what makes it great because he's got some lore on him. You ain't gotta be the game PFR lore.
Oh, buddy. We're just getting started. On October 17th, 2015.
You see everyone fuming over our just drooling over Kakashi and we barely saw him.
Goat mother you
any of his
encounter at the start of
background.
the game.
I mean, now I
This
got
was a
some now, but
creepy distortion of that character, and something about it resonated with people. So much so that Underfella began to reimagine
Fella?
each
You say
character of
Underfella?
Undertale in this more sinister light. These images running
Hey,
rampant
fella.
throughout fan communities, with people now creating their own fan works of this
Clean.
fan work, creating a collective online world of thousands of people envisioning what this
Oh
new
my gosh,
darker
Alphys looks
reality
crazy.
of Undertale would be like.
Clean artwork
And
here.
this was the birth of Underfell, one of the first massively
AKA,
popular
as he would say
Undertale
earlier, Underfella.
alternate universes or AUs.
Oh, shit.
I have legit seen full-blown AAA games with lesser
Artist
followings
unknown,
than Underfell,
unless
to
that's
the
actually
point
their
that
art
it's
name.
difficult for me to even convey how massive it is.
And
So
I'm
I'm
looking
going to be
like,
using a very
Suzy.
specific example. This is
Or
what
Deltarune.
happens when I type Underfell Remix into YouTube and just look at all the results. These are all soundtracks for a game that does not exist. Except it kind of does. There are multiple fully developed Underfell fan games, along with all the other weird shit you'd expect from any property with a massive fan following.
That's
all
the
this
power of
dark,
it, man.
edgy shit, I love it, but I think the appeal is deeper than that. Undertale was at a point where every tiny part of it had been memeified 1,000 times over, and so the only option left was to break these characters free from that canonical limitation. And so, like a remix of a song you love, Underfell let fans re-experience them all over again.
That
and
is true,
in
bro.
doing so, making them personal, specific, and limitless. Oh, and if you're wondering why I referred to Underfell as one of the big Undertale AUs, well, Underswap came into existence when a piece of fan art from Tumblr user Popcorn Prince swapped the personalities of Sans and Papyrus. Sans, now the
We try that out too,
over-enthusiastic
Underswap.
human hunting goof, and Papyrus, the laid-back older brother who knows more than he should. Just like Underfell, the idea picked up a massive amount of momentum among the Undertale fan community, with Popcorn Prince creating similar swapped personas for each character in Undertale. Undyne became the royal scientist, Alphys the head of the guard, you get the idea. However, whereas
Trying to think of what voice Papyrus would have in Underswap.
Swap is kind of the opposite, often depicted as a softer, more peaceful reality that tends to focus more on slice of life.
Because it's Papyrus still, but he's like got more of a chill vibe to him.
Huge. A DeviantArt Underswap search yields 37,000 results.
Trust
that
me,
same remix
that's
test
not
from
even big,
earlier,
because
that
what it is
works
now
for
is
Underswap
insane.
too. There is a massive community still producing content to this day, and it's just crazy to me that there could be two massively popular Undertale AUs. Horror Tale began life as a DeviantArt
He's
comic
such
that
another one.
reimagined the world and
that's
characters
a
of
lot, bro, that's
Undertale
a
as
lot.
horrific nightmare versions of themselves. Went on to gain a
Papyrus is
massive fan following,
crazy
with fan
in that
games,
one,
fan
I'll tell
art,
you
and
what.
a hugely popular creepy version of
teeth
Sans
they
with his head
gave
cracked
him.
open. Dust Tale is a Korean Ask blog in which Sans, emotionally destroyed from experiencing
Dust Tale,
repeated
one of the
genocide,
more popular ones
murders the
nowadays.
monsters of the undergrounds to level himself up to finally take down the human and end the infinite looping genocide. It also has a massive fan following with a hugely popular version of Sans. It's kind of like Undertale crossed with Berserk. Outer Tale is an Undertale AU set in space. It also has a massively popular fan following.
Alright, I'm about to skip him now because now you just
Okay.
come on.
That's the last Undertale AU.
Thank you. No, it's not.
Fell
But,
Swap
come on.
is an Underfell
Okay, he's still
Underswap
going, alright. You know what?
combination
We'll learn.
alternate universe set during the 20th century Cold War, in which the characters of Underfell swap personalities as they do in Underswap. Not to be confused with Swapfell, which is a different thing where the
You know, I can't even blame him. This is how I was feeling when I started hearing all these different AUs.
versions of their swapped selves.
Dang and done, looking hot.
Swap is Fell Swap Gold, which is a different thing from Fell Swap Red or Fell Swap Emerald, and this is the point where my mind started to break and I started to feel
this
like
was the
there
point.
no
That was sooner for me.
Community. There are hundreds.
Once I heard a disbelief, then that's when I was like, I lost all my belief that I can keep up with all
I
these.
have been researching this stuff for weeks and I have no idea what the fuck disbelief papyrus is. How does this video
There we
have
go.
20 million views?
Yeah, there we
A lot
go.
of these universes even have different pacifist, neutral,
I was
and
wondering the same thing, too.
genocide
I saw that as well.
timelines.
I didn't watch it yet,
googled
but-
genocide underswap papyrus just to see if that was a thing, and not only is it, someone had done a full genocide underswap papyrus boss battle
Oh,
twice.
of course.
The rate at which this stuff hits the internet and mutates
wouldn't even
is
question that.
staggering. Like, take Fresh Sans, another massively popular Sans AU character, but then one day someone was like, what if Fresh Sans existed in Undertale, leading to Unfresh Sans? Which in turn led to someone being like, what if Unfresh Sans was a person, leading to human Unfresh Sans? This is a fan character of a fan character of a fan character of an original creation. At some point, these fan characters even got really weird and meta, like Error Sans, who I actually think is pretty rad, who travels from alternate universe to alternate universe, wiping out different Undertale AUs, whose counterpart is Ink Sans, who helps and encourages fan creators in making their own Undertale universes. These are also both massively popular fan characters with—
Oh my gosh, you're about to make my mind explode.
and if
I can't look at images like
really
that.
insane, what if everything we just talked about? What if
Someone's gonna show up to me like RL and be like, can you handle this, Lee? Look at me, I'm scrolling through images. I'm like,
Universe is a multi-hour-long animated web series that combines all the different Undertale AUs into one.
I'm just gonna be like, I'm actually just gonna be
meta
like, what are you doing?
storyline, featuring popular fan
I don't remember that when you
characters
said
like
that one thing in that video.
Frisk, Underswap Papyrus,
maybe.
Ink Sans, Error
Remind me.
Sans, Fresh
I don't know if I see
Sans,
it.
Fell Sans, Nightmare, Dream, Cross Sans. That
Underverse,
last one being
bruh.
the
Look at this
Sans of the
good.
Crossverse, the
Snack.
prequel series to Underverse that focuses on the story of Frisk
Man, this was
and
about 2
Kara,
years ago.
two brothers who
this
have to
was all
watch
made
their
then.
own universe
like
repeatedly
this is, like, just
reset
came out,
by
like, not too long ago.
Crossgaster
But I guess I
as he
reckon not too
tries
long ago.
over and over to recreate his own Undertale AU. This is an alternate universe about making alternate universes. And you want to know the absolutely fucking crazy part?
Yeah, this
It's good! The art
it's
style
really
is
good.
beautiful, the character designs
Yes.
are really sharp and expressive. Look at how cute Alvi's looks in her dress, how fucking
Mhm,
badass
adorable.
Undyne looks in her suit. Muffet's in the
Suave.
Royal Guard, and it's class.
Muffet.
But I think the really genius thing about this series is that just as Undertale acknowledges it is a video game and uses that to tell its story, Crossverse acknowledges it is a piece of fan fiction and does the same. It tries to imagine what it would be like for these characters existing in AUs, trapped in universes where at any moment your timeline could be reset. Frisk and Kara being the only ones to retain memories of their previous timelines, having to repeatedly watch their family, friends, and lives, all of it pulled back to zero.
I'm tired!
Again, with the
Oh, so
character
much
writing
fun reacting
strong
to.
enough to support that concept. And yeah, look, it is insane. You have to know an obscene amount about Undertale and its different AUs to just
Man.
understand what's happening.
that show.
But if you can get past all the weird abstract lore and world building, it's actually really good. Oh my god. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I have become everything I once hated. Oh well. And yet, as obtuse and inaccessible as this series is, that is a barrier that millions of people have crossed. Underverse spawning its own fan art, parodies, analysis videos, and it isn't even the most popular multi-hour-long Undertale AU animation on YouTube. That would be the shockingly well-animated battle-heavy Glitch Tale, the remake of the first episode having 20 million views.
If I didn't see that
After
first
you stare
episode,
at this
the
stuff
remake,
for
I
long
probably
enough,
would never continue watching that
something
series.
really weird starts to happen.
Whoever set me
You
on
start
that
to
set me
view
on a
the
good path.
original Undertale as just one small part of everything Undertale has become online.
And I have to wonder, what is that like for Toby Fox? I've done 2 videos on gigantic online fandoms, but the difference is that one was a massive multi-million-dollar IP designed to disrupt the global games industry, and the other was a primetime TV show created by a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Undertale was a $5,000 Kickstarter from a guy who liked Earthbound. And imagine all that attention on just you. And it was not all positive. Undertale fans were now everywhere, flooding every message board and social media feed, and they were going to make themselves heard. Just 2 months after Undertale's release, it was voted the best game of all time in a 2015 GameFAQs poll, beating out many titles that had for years defined what games were. And this was the beginning of a massive backlash from the wider gaming audience, with Undertale cringe compilations and other videos ridiculing the game and the people who loved it. And not helping were the reports of bullying and harassment from within the fandom itself.
Imagine hating on someone just
YouTuber
because they like a certain
infamously
game, bro.
cancelling his Let's Play after just 2 episodes. So negative was the backlash to his No Mercy run. With other bizarre incidents like one that took place at a Taiwanese convention in which a popular fan artist was injured after she was given a cookie with a needle baked into it. You're gonna find stories like this from any community that is large enough. But this was the level that this niche
like, another thing's even weird about Undertale, bro. It's literally just a common game, bro.
And if you want an idea of how intense that might have been, both the creators of Undertale and Underswap deleted their original blogs. And just imagine what it's like when even the people making things from the thing you made.
They probably ain't had nothing against pistol games. They probably just want to bully someone. They got a reason because people clouded up
in the years that follow, Fox would become
with hate, and they said, "Oh, let me grab onto this hate and make it even worse."
His experience in his blog post retrospective on Undertale's popularity. Not only did I not expect this level of popularity, but initially I was afraid of it.
People don't know how to critique and be nice about it, and then it just breeds more hate.
Like a thunderclap to us.
I really want to see what Markiplier had to say, by the way. I might do that for the side thing. It's already long enough, so might as well.
I felt a strange powerlessness. But the line that really chills me from Fox is when he gave in a 2017 interview with Edge magazine, where he stated, "My life has changed permanently and will never change back."
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I gotta say,
that is fame. That is fame. That's what happens.
Undertale is a teeny tiny little game that released on the 15th of September 2015. And
boy, did you hit the reset button?
I was making my first YouTube
No, hit the continue button.
That's right.
That was a joke.
This whole video has just been a prelude for me to get weird and personal, and you're too far in to stop watching now. I've been thinking about that time a lot lately.
Or I would stop.
See,
but you guys are watching these with me. You want to see the full reaction probably, so I won't.
And somehow, in that time, what to me has always been this small personal YouTube channel has grown to nearly 1 million subscribers.
Was this man able to do gameplays and his audience was watching still? Because I'm jealous. I was about to make a whole gaming channel.
I find equally exciting and horrifying. I love you guys. I really do. But you also terrify me. I love this job, but it changes you. You see your own identity, your own concept of who you are, filtered through 1,000 different lenses, and it is impossible not to get lost in that, to the point that when I think back to the person who made that first video, I don't know that I am them anymore.
I'm not as big as this guy, but I can see what he's saying. At the same time, like not being as big as he is, I can also say that I wish I was that big. Even though, like, seeing what I'm seeing now with me doing it, like, I don't know, bro. I'm sure it's overwhelming and stuff, you know what I'm saying, to be that big on YouTube, but not being able to do YouTube at all because I'm not that big, that hurts so much more. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm not gonna cap. Yeah, the fame sucks and all that, but you can make an alternate alias, whatever you want to do, to just leave the internet completely. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about Toby Fox. That's proof enough you can just get away from it if you really want to. It's gonna be out there, but you can just choose to ignore it, which is easier for some people than others, but for me it's quite easy. I mean, I can say for sure, as troubling as it can be, fame for some people, and as it can be for me personally as well, feeling judged and whatnot. I'll tell you what, getting 54 views on a video I worked extremely hard for hurts way more than, you know, having it blow up and everyone see it and there being maybe a 50-50 view conflict, or maybe like 80-20 with who likes it and who doesn't. It hurts a lot more because I know I'm gonna drop that 54 view video and then probably not get any more views or be able to do YouTube again. So that hurts a lot more than being able to get those views, get money to actually continue doing YouTube so I can live a life, you know what I'm saying, and not die of starvation and no internet, no whatever, to not make videos. You know what I'm saying? It hurts more to get the 54 views, I'm gonna say.
Gary.
Just saying.
That's what the internet does.
I feel like there should be double sides in this that you guys should hear from, not just this
I'm
side.
not trying to compare the moderate success of this channel to that of Undertale's. There is no comparison, and I know this isn't relatable content. Oh no, I have too many fans on the internet. I get it.
Oh, it's relatable
But
for me.
I have to believe the emotion behind it is universal. The feeling of looking back 5 years ago and asking, wow.
I looked at my videos from 5 years ago, boy.
Hey! I done told you about them grades, boy!
Them Jackson's goofy.
And I think that's why it hits so hard when right at the end of Undertale, you walk up to that mirror and it says, despite everything,
Here we go.
it's still you. That no matter how much you change or your world changes around you, through all the beautiful and terrifying things that will happen, there will always be some part that is undeniably, infinitely.
I think what he needs to say is not the
That
fame
is
with this concept. It's just about
Undertale is a
going in a
game that
journey
creates a
of growing
lot
yourself.
of emotion, and all the internet did
Losing
was
yourself in
give
that
that
journey.
emotion a conduit.
I don't think fame has anything to do with it. I think it's journey in general.
Let's Plays, Twitch streams, and innumerable other pieces of fan
Shout out
media.
Jack.
And Undertale's still the same game
I never watched
it
the
was
guy, but
5 years ago. It's still a tiny...
I've seen people that he made their eyes glow, and you gotta give some respect to a person like that.
One of the biggest games on the planet. The internet, social media, and fan culture have just evolved to the point that both those things can be true at the same time. A duality that even 10 years ago wouldn't have been possible. And that comes with a lot of weird stuff. But it also means people across the world get to experience things they never
Oh my gosh, that
otherwise would have.
pocket knife, whatever that is. What's that called again?
With
I don't
Undertale,
know.
and hell,
Oh my gosh, and the cuts on the
this
hand?
too.
That's it.
I'm really glad that that happened.
Oh yeah, Whisper, talk to me softly. Talk to me softly.
Friends,
Alright,
thank you for joining me today. I really hope you had a good time with this one. If you did and want to help me create more like it, you could do so over at patreon.com/Super Eyepatch Wolf, where for a single $1 you can join me for our Discord anime watch parties, video diaries for each video,
Looking
and
up
see
Jack
your
Sets
name
Die
with these
quits,
beautiful people
Undertale.
right here. Special thank you this week to Tate Fancher, Winks,
I can feel it getting stronger.
Poopy Face, Time for Thomas,
Shout out to all these
Super
patrons.
Hall,
That's why I'm leaving the stream now, by the way.
Faye Sadler, and the 20
It was a great video.
Taco.
And you guys helped
As
with
ever,
it,
you can find me hosting the
content
Let's Fight a
creation.
Boss video game podcast or on
Every
Twitter
supporter does.
at Eyepatchwolf.
You watching right now?
Friends, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next year.
Alright, now we see what he's talking about with that Markiplier.
Respect. I'm talking about this because of the frenzy that's surrounding Felix, not PewDiePie.
I thought it was an Undertale video.
And I
What
want
the
to be
heck?
very...
Anyways, yeah. See you guys in the next one, bruh. Comment what you will. Comment a recommendation. It's up to you. I think we did the video pretty out pretty well. And if you watched up to this point, you're kind of crazy, huh? Must have really enjoyed. Thank you. Appreciate your attendance. And yeah, like I said, leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. Noty bell, don't forget it. And feel free to comment a recommendation my right to hit next. And it was good chilling with you. Hope you enjoyed. And yeah, keep it divine. Hope you have a good day or night. And peace.